Oh, yeah, Coach. They getting in here, Coach. They getting in here.
Man, I'm trying to make sure I can connect with my YouTube.
Okay.
So I can get on them comments.
All right, Coach, I got to look. I went and asked ChatGPT a question, Coach. I asked ChatGPT a question. I'm going to see if you agree with Chat. Let me move that down. Welcome to HBCU Coaches Corner. I'm your host, Rocky Miller, and I have our featured host along with us for the third night in a row. None other than the SWAC legend himself, the TSU record-breaking quarterback, and my man, Johnnie Cole. Hey, Coach, good to have you on tonight, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. You know, it's football time in America, Coach, as I used to say. Football time in Texas.
Absolutely, man. Hey, Coach, you've been talking a lot of ball with a lot of coaches, setting up these interviews, man, doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and you got some surprises for us, and we're not gonna give them away. But I want to say, Coach, you've been putting that work in, and Coach, let me ask you this here, Coach. This is your 16th season since you were the head coach at TSU.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you miss it, Coach?
I have my days. I have my days that I miss being on the green, and when I go visit, when we go to the games and to those classics, and I'm sitting up there looking at different plays and situations and things that I might would have done a little different. I miss it. I miss the camaraderie with the staff. I miss help, developing young folks, man. But I still get a lot of calls. I still get a lot of calls from my former players, and I'll be honest, I still got the fire in my belly. I think I got another year and a half, I think, of teaching, and then I'm gonna walk away from that and possibly try to get on another staff somewhere, being just an assistant coach. So, you can't say enough about the game, and it just was bred in me, and it's something that I've been very, very successful at.
Hey, Coach, as you convey this landscape and look at we've had a lot of coaches on over the past couple of years, and I'm sure, like you said, like you always tell me, it's only 21 of those HBCU jobs, and in your opinion, all those jobs are good jobs. You know what I mean? If you in the top 21, then you got a good job as a HBCU guy. Right. But I asked ChatGPT a question, Coach. I just asked ChatGPT a question. I said, what are the top 5 HBCU head coaching jobs? Right? Again, This is not my rank. This is ChatGPT. I just asked ChatGPT, and I have my feelings about how the ranking went, but I wanted the coach to look at this because he's an actual coach, and to be honest with you, this could be this has been your future. I mean, this has been your past, and it could be your future. So, Coach, I'm gonna ask you, Coach, what do you think about this list as being the top 5 coaching jobs in HBCU football?
Well, I couldn't really see what they were looking at.
I can see some of the Grambling. I tell you about some of the Grambling stuff. It says Grambling is number 1. Can you see that, Coach?
Yes, yeah, I see all that.
And it says it's giving Grambling number 1 based on the rich football tradition, the passionate national fan base, the strong brand and national recognition, solid resources and facilities, and consistent NFL talent pipeline. That's why they named number 1. Number 2 was South Carolina State, and it says defending Black college national champs, loyal and growing fan base, investment in football program, recruiting footprint, in talent areas. I you know, like I said, I think South Carolina being in the top 5, I would have to agree. Strong in Alabama State. This is kind of surprised. This one kind of slipped up on me. I didn't expect ChatGPT to come up with this. It says strong administrative support, top recruiting territory, Alabama, upgraded facilities and resources, competitive in the SWAC, and access to top level in-state talent. And that's what it says. Now, this next school was a complete surprise to me that it was in the top 5. Not because it's not a top 5 job, that it's surprising that ChatGPT thinks it's a top 5 job. And it says large, loyal, passionate fan base, strong academic institution, state-of-the-art facilities, great location and recruiting access, growing national recognition. And bringing up the number 5 spot was Jackson State. And of course, passionate, unmatched fan base, powerful brand, media exposure, urban recruiting advantage, strong alumni and community support, consistent NFL talent production. We're going to look at it like this, Coach. Ranking aside, what do you think about this list? I'm not necessarily talking about ranking, but just what do you think about those top 5 schools, regardless of order? Is there anybody that's left out that you would add?
No, I don't think anybody was left out, because those are all power schools besides, you know, of the winning tradition, besides Prairie View in our time. Of course, in the 60s, Prairie View used to be one of the best. And of course, the things that Jack has brought to us and them being in the A&M system, you know, really have boosted them up. You know, I still would go with Jackson State number 1. They never talked about the living quality. You know, being in the city of Jackson, Mississippi is, you know, a great place. They got, you know, airport that you can get in and out. They recruiting base is the state of Mississippi, where they actually go against Mississippi State and Ole Miss. And then they're close to, you know, Atlanta, Alabama as well, you know, and then, of course, the southern part of Mississippi and Louisiana. So I like Jackson State. Traditionally, they're strong. You got a fan base that's been the best in the last 40 years. So as a coach, you know, I would like to walk in there, because I like to be in the city. I don't see that's the gremlin of the old at number 1 right now, not taking nothing away from their tradition. You know, their tradition it's been great. Would I want to live there down in Grambling, Louisiana? No. And them, their tradition being so strong in today's world of the recruiting ground, you know, it's getting kind of tough down there, you know, but they holding on. So I would definitely go with Jackson State. Man, you can't say enough about Alabama State. I mean, I would like that to be would have been my number 2. You know, great city to live in, facilities out the yang, great support from the system, the school system there, right there in the capital of Alabama. You have nobody to compete against, you know what I mean, for fan base. You know, you got Troy about an hour and a half down. Of course, you got the University of Alabama. Auburn is close, but it ain't close enough to take away your fan base. So, and I've lived in Montgomery, Alabama. Love to go down there. They really, really love their university. The thing about South Carolina State, I would move them to 3. Traditional-wise, championship, great, but I don't think it's the a school facility-wise that they've made a total commitment to their football program. I think Chennis Berry is not even in, probably, when you start looking at salaries, he probably not even in the top 10. You know what I mean? Do they travel? You know, they don't travel well. You know, even when they played in the Heritage Bowl or the championship game, the Celebrity Bowl,
Celebration Bowl.
Celebration Bowl. I'm sorry. You know, they didn't get the fan base. You know, we were there at the game, South Carolina State and Prairie View. We thought Prairie View would bring more as well, but it just didn't happen. But they're excited. They're a winning program. They've won more conference championships than anybody over there in the MEAC. So it's a good job, but it's a lot of pressure too. So that's kind of where I see it. I'll leave Prairie View at number 4 and move South Carolina down to 3 and switch Jackson State and Grambling.
There's one school that I'm surprised not in here, and I thought for sure it would have came up. I thought ChatGPT would have been smart enough to add a school in the top 5 jobs. I just want to – so the people in the chat, I want to ask y'all, what school is missing in this top 5? Because me personally, I would take Grambling out. I know they're listed at number 1, but at this point in the game, I would take Grambling out. Not only would I take them out because they're in Grambling, but I also would take them out because they struggle to have success the last 7-8 years. So I would like to add, there's one school that I think should be in this list. They have a rabid fan base. They have a rich tradition of winning. They're in the middle of a recruiting hotbed. There's tons of football players in the area where they are. They are in a very nice city, probably one of the nicest cities in HBCU, in the HBCU community. And guess what school that is? Somebody give me an idea of what that school is.
Is it Florida A&M?
Absolutely, Coach. Florida A&M. I would put them in that top 5 job, even though I agree they have a facility issue. They do have a facility issue. But when you take the city, when you take the fan base, and you take the recruiting area, I think that's a that's a destination job in my opinion if you're gonna coach at an HBCU school. What do you think about that opinion, Coach?
Well, you can't. I mean, Florida A&M. If Florida A&M was at top 5, I would probably move Grambling up underneath them. Now, and again, Grambling got great tradition. Is it a good job? I mean, is it a bad job? No, it's not a bad job. You know what I'm saying? You got to know the history of Grambling too, because they only played 3 home games. When Eddie was there, then when Doug Williams took over, they only had 3 home games. They mostly was on the road, traveling. Because they sit there in Grambling. You got to be going to Grambling. You don't pass through Grambling. You got to be going to Grambling to get to Grambling. One of the guys said check Chennis Bear. He's up at 300,000. But T-Jack at Prairie View is making more than him. Eddie Robinson is making more than him.
Marshall Falk is.
Oh, Marshall Falk is making way more than him. And he's just now get there after what, 2 national championship games he played in. He just now getting there. So I don't think when you walk in there, you're gonna be up at the highest rim at 300,000.
And probably Mickey's close around there with him.
Yeah, Mickey is at 3. He's at 300,000 too.
Yeah, and we don't know what
now it ain't including his incentives. I'm pretty sure he's done a great job with his incentives. But
what about Gibbs? We know Gibbs is above him. Like Gibbs is at 370.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's just what it is. But again, money aside, because these jobs, are about more than money. But I'm sure each coach appreciates every dollar they get. But again, let me ask you this, Coach, since we're talking about compensation. When you were coaching at TSU 15 years ago, Could you have imagined that the salaries would be upwards around 300, 350, going up to 400,000 back?
Man, let me tell you about my career. I'm always behind. When I first got my first job at University of Cincinnati, I was shaking my hand. 45,000. Then about 5 years, all the salaries went up to 100,000.
Wow.
No, I didn't remember when I got the job at Texas Southern, the guy offered me 130. I said 130. That was like in the upper of the SWAC at that time. And they ended up giving me about 168. It was a good thing I had some incentives in there. And that's the thing. You got to be smart about your contract, what you get from these places, because, one of the things, they wanted me to play money games. And so I could give you the numbers. If you're not getting $400,000, I got $400,000 from Rutgers back in 2009, coach. And I'm telling these guys as being coaches, if they taking $400,000 now, today, they getting robbed. They should definitely, if they playing a par 5 or par 4 team, it should be no less than 7 or 6 or 8, no less. And if they take it 6, like I did Rutgers, I made them pay for my flights and my buses to and from the game in the hotel, so I could kind of walk away with the whole thing.
Yeah, coach, you was a tough. Did you negotiate that game, or did the AD negotiate that game?
At that time, I negotiated all my games and contracts.
Okay. Now let me ask you this here, Coach. Coach Shade, I want y'all to know, first off, I say this. Coach Shade is not late. He wasn't scheduled to be here to 8:30. So we giving y'all a little bonus HBCU Coaches Corner as we're leading up to the Coach Shade interview. He's gonna be here. He was not scheduled to be here till 8:30. Mr. Campbell is here. He's taking care of some things. I expect he'll be back prior to Coach Shade coming on. I'm gonna show him at some point during this broadcast. I'm gonna show Mr. Campbell this list of that ChatGPT came up with. But I thought it was a very interesting topic for us to discuss, because there's only 21 of these jobs. All of them should be considered premium jobs. I think what do you say, Coach? I don't know how many HBCUs play football. Probably about 40 of them play football.
Yeah.
And to have one of 40 is an awesome job. But to have one of those top 21 jobs is really a gift, in my opinion, because there's only 21 Division I HBCU jobs. Again, those of you who are just joining now, this is not our list. I asked ChatGPT, what is the top 5 jobs in HBCU football? This is what ChatGPT came up with. This is not our list. This is ChatGPT's list. Y'all may ask ChatGPT the same question if y'all want to. I'll post it. I'll post the crest. I'll put the prompt I put in, and y'all can put it in and see if it gives y'all something different. I'll put it in the chat here. This is the prompt I gave it right here. I said, create me a graphic with the top 5 HBCU head coach job. That's what I put in there. That's what I put in ChatGPT. Y'all can put in ChatGPT and see what it gives y'all. It may give y'all something different, but this is what it gave me.
I like Southern University. I mean, man, when I was down there, I mean, I loved it down there in Baton Rouge, close to New Orleans, the fan base was out of sight. The games was next level. The Bayou Classic was, and of course we played in the national championship, when I was there too in Atlanta, played there twice, played in the Circle City Classic. I thought Southern was a great job. I felt Tennessee State was a great job, at first. And it might be a difference because I won all those places, Coach, where I really got to see how it could be at a championship game. So everything in all those places I've been, we were winning. We were winning. And so we weren't needing for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Coach, just to put that in context about Tennessee State, you guys were the first HBCU to win a PWI conference. Not only did you do it once, Coach, didn't y'all do it twice?
Twice and 2 national championships. Yeah.
Wow.
Did it back to back. We went 21-1 in 98 and 99. And
y'all won the Black College National Championship both years.
Yeah, we won the vote. See, they had to vote those years. They voted people in.
And is there any school like 98, 99? Was there any HBCU, in your opinion, that was right there with y'all during those years that could have gave y'all a run for your money?
Oh no, Jackson State was. We played Jackson State tough. They, but we beat Jackson State every year except but the first year in 95. I'm sorry, in 96, 97. I beat Jackson State from 97 on till I stopped coaching. But Southern was tough. We played Pete Richardson. Them A&T was tough. Down there with Bill Hayes, he beat us the last play of the game on an interception. We was throwing a Hail Mary and the guy picked it off and ran it all the way back. So they ended up beating us in the Circus and Classic. But we took names, man. We beat everybody. Texas Southern, Florida A&M. We put them all up on the wall, man, and just hit them on the back with a board.
Oh man, y'all were getting after it, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to announce that your guy has made it, Coach. He is in the building. He's in the green room, waiting to be introduced. So whenever you're ready, Coach, you can go ahead and introduce your guy.
Yeah. I met Coach Shea about two years ago, but I always heard about him, and I kind of chased his career and find out what makes this guy so great, man. But just getting to know Coach Shea and I commentated some of his games, and we'd go over to the hotel, man, and we would just talk for hours, and then find out we knew people, and we were kind of alike. I like his style. Championship in high school, championship over at Miles College, built that program back up. Now he's at Alabama A&M. I'm still one of his biggest fans and will be. Tonight, hopefully we get a chance to get into that. He had a tough first year at Alabama A&M, but don't forget him. I'm guarantee you guys he's gonna make that conference tough. With just his presence, took a SWAC the SWAC league, the SWAC conference up a level. So without no further ado, Coach Sam Shea.
All right. Thank you guys for having me, man. Coach Cole, Mr. Campbell, man, Rocky, man. Hey, it's good to be back on with you guys, man. I feel like you guys do a great job, man, of, talking about HBCUs and HBCU sports and just being a platform for us. So thank you for what you do.
Well, I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Coach. We appreciate
it. Yeah. I'm gonna jump right in it because I know my guys, they got some, but Coach, I've been fighting them off you now. I've been fighting them off me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think, Coach, because I'm jump right in it, man. I know it's football time now. We can't keep you too long. Man, look, it was tough. I don't think people knew the things that you went through losing your quarterback, and kind of go through that and bring us where we are now. With the health of your players, learning a lot about being at the next level. Kind of explain that, because I don't think people know you had it, Coach. You was there, and then next thing you know.
Well, Coach, we started off pretty good. Started out 3-1. Had some did some good things offensively and defensively early on. Then the injury bug kind of struck us. Obviously, the big one was losing our quarterback, Quad Brown, but there were some other pieces that we lost during that early stretch, and so it just seemed like the margin for error just got a little bit smaller, after losing, some of the guys we lost. But at the same time, the thing I said coming into this, into the SWAC, the thing that I knew coming in, it was two things I knew. I knew that the SWAC always had talent, and I'm talking about NFL type talent, and I feel like we still do. Then the other thing is the SWAC has always had, to me, top-notch coaches. And you look at the conference now, a lot of top-notch coaches, a lot of coaches that bring a lot of different experiences to the conference. For instance, Mickey Joseph, been the head coach at Nebraska. You look at Coach Tremaine Jackson, played for a Division II national championship. So not surprised by what he did last year. And, I can keep going. TC Taylor's won a Celebration Bowl. Coach Robinson, what he's done, down the road over the last 4 years. So a lot of good coaching, a lot of good players. That's something that I knew the conference had, and that played a big part in it too. That played a big part in things for us.
Yeah. Is your quarterback coming back, or you guys? I'm pretty sure you made that a recruiting priority. Is he coming back? Is he fine?
Well, so that's the interesting question. So what happened? He got hurt, and he only played in 4 games last year. So the NCAA rules basically, when guys get hurt, they play in less than 4 games. Then they look at the injury and they decide if he needs a medical red shirt. And our quarterback, going into the offseason, we didn't know. We didn't know what they were going to, come back and say. So we went out and we recruited a couple guys, brought in a couple other guys to add, and wanted those guys to compete. And then the week of our spring game, we get the news that Quad Brown, our quarterback, he got his waiver. So, he's back. And really all I can say is our quarterback room got a lot stronger by getting him back. Matter of fact, we feel like we've got a number of guys that could go out there and play for us at quarterback. So, really excited about that room. Definitely excited about it.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, we got a question right away that I want to ask you since we're talking about quarterbacks. Is Mekhi Hagan's on the team? Is he on your roster this year?
Yes, Mekhi Hagan was a guy that transferred, came to us last summer. Unfortunately, he needed a waiver. He had started grad school the spring of 25 before he came to us, and unfortunately was not able to play last season, but he actually got a waiver from the NCAA also. So, we've got Mekhi Hagan, and that's a guy that started every game at Pine Bluff in 2024.
And lit it up.
Yeah, and did a great job. So, he's a guy that we thought we would have had last season. Unfortunately, we didn't, but now we get him this year. So he makes that quarterback room stronger. Obviously, we got Eric Hanley coming back, who played a lot of ball for us last year at the quarterback position, and did a good job, I thought, until he got a little banged up, and just at times his throws weren't the same throws late in the season, just because he was banged up also.
All right, Coach, I got some questions for you, but we got to let our recruiting expert on our staff go ahead and have his way with you for a moment and talk about you. See if you give us a little more insight to your roster than maybe some of these other coaches we didn't talk to. They act like it's what is they classified, G14 classified. We don't know if it's not if it's on their roster. They're not telling us no starters. They're not telling us who on the team. So hopefully you're a little more cooperative with being more open about what you guys got going on as far as recruiting and things of that nature.
Well, Coach, how you doing this evening?
All right, I'm doing pretty good, Mr.
Now, go ahead and finish your statement.
No, I was just going to say now, the thing we got going is I tell the team all the time when we start training camp, somebody's got to go out there with the first team, second team, all that. But that doesn't mean it's written in stone. Even Quad Brown's going to go out there with the first team, but he's got a lot of competition and, so he's going to have to bring it.
Well, Coach, listen, I'm a big fan of yours. I appreciate you being on the show. We talked about your path, but Coach, I'm going to tell you something. You know me. I'm always going to support what you got. So, Coach, I know Coach Cole, Coach is a coach. He said, hey, Coach, you had a rough season. But, Coach, you got to let these folks know you had 3 games that you were within a touchdown or less of winning those games. And that would have flipped you right there to have 7 wins. So I want people to know that you look at something at face value is not exactly what it is because you were in those games. So I want people to know that 4-8 was not just 4-8 where you were getting blown out 52-5 or something like that. You win all those games. And like you say, you start off at 3-1. So I want people to understand that coaching for the first year, I think he did a great job and just on that alone.
Well, I got to say, I definitely can't agree with you on it being a great job. I don't think so. My coaching staff and myself, we look at it as, man, we basically said, hey, we got work to do. I mean, we got work to do to improve and make this football team better. That's exactly what we said at Miles College after the first year, is that, we had work to do and we feel like we put a lot of work in. We're a little excited about the season because, we feel like we put some work in recruiting and feel like in the off season, not just us as coaches, but our strength conditioning staff, we feel like they did a great job with our team. A lot of our guys look different physically. We talk about wanting to be able to run the football and stop the run. Well, that starts with being a physical football team. In order to be a physical football team, you got to be a strong football team. You got to, have a little bit of size and muscle. And we feel like those are some things that, we've added. So, we're definitely improved and better than we were at this point going into last season.
Well, Coach, I'm going to start off with, like you said, somebody's got to start, but you got a couple of guys that are going to be recognized. And, Coach, let's kind of talk about that, especially on the defensive side. So you got Arenza Davis, defensive line. He made all SWAC preseason. You got Wyatt Wright. He made all SWAC preseason. And then you got one of your defensive backs, Jordan Chambers-Smith. That's on the offense. But on your defensive side, you got Kenyon Hanley Jr. that made all SWAC. Let's talk about the defensive side because you're a defensive guy. What are those guys bringing to the table this year?
Well, the 3 guys that you named, they all played some significant time for us last season. Wyatt Wright actually started off the season really strong last year against Arkansas. Man, had 2 sacks, couple tackles for losses, and was looking like he was going to really have a great year. And then he had a knee injury. It wasn't season ending, but it slowed him down. I felt like he just wasn't the same, and that was around the second game of the season. And after that, I just didn't feel like he was the same guy. But, we're excited about, him coming back healthy. And, Arenza Davis, he wasn't a starter, but, played some significant time for us. And Keon Hanley, the same thing at safety. He kind of split time last year. And, so those are guys that have an opportunity to, play big roles on our football team.
Now, Coach, we talked about the quarterback, but again, they got a wide receiver and they can go get it. What do you think about Jordan? What is he going to do and look for with that quarterback connection?
Well, man, Jordan Chambers-Smith, man, great story. He was a walk-on receiver for us last year. Showed up beginning of summer, and the kid just all he kept doing was making plays, and the coaches kept coming to me, and they're like, Coach, man, this kid can play, and Coach, we probably gonna have to put this kid on scholarship. And so right at the end of training camp, we actually ended up putting him on scholarship, which was good because we lost before the season started. We had had a senior receiver, Duke Miller, that really good football player, had actually transferred from Jackson State before I got here, and he broke his hand in training camp. Non-contact, broke his hand, was out for the year. So Jordan Chambers Smith was able to step up into that spot and play some significant time. Matter of fact, ended up being our punt returner, which, having a freshman punt returner out there, man, that makes you nervous, but he did a great job for us. And so we're excited to get him back, to have him back.
Now, Coach, we hear this all the time. We talk about the transfer portal. It looks like you went heavy in the portal. It looks like you got a lot of guys that had Alabama backgrounds, as far as either grown up or played at other schools. What was your philosophy and some of the guys in the portal that you got? And also, Coach, you talked about this. You look like you got a good crop of high school players that you're building off of that are Alabama kids. So let's talk about the guys that you're transferring in and then talk about your high school kids that you're looking forward to produce.
Well, you're right. And we try to, in recruiting, we do try to start at home, so to speak. And when I say at home, I'm not just talking about Huntsville, North Alabama. I'm talking about the whole state of Alabama, all the way down to Mobile. That's where we try to start, to try to get those local guys, because 9 times out of 10, they've got people that are A&M people that they've had a chance to interact with. And, so they know more about A&M than, say, a kid that we go get out of Mississippi or Georgia or Florida. So you definitely want to start in state. And, we got some transfers. I got some guys that are in-state guys. We were able to get a linebacker out of the Birmingham area, DJ Barber, who actually started out at Auburn. We were able to get a defensive lineman, Antonio Coleman, out of the Mobile area, Saraland High School. He also came from Auburn. And then we actually got a running back, man, that we were really excited about from Wake Forest. He was an state of Alabama guy. Guy named Drew Pickett, man, came in at running back, and we were excited. But unfortunately, during spring practice, in a non-contact deal, he had a season-ending knee injury. So, we were definitely trying to, use our Alabama connections and roots, trying to bring in guys like that. But, also we were able to bring in some guys from some other places, other parts of the country. For instance, brought in a young quarterback, Beckham Kriska. He's from Florida, but he was actually a freshman at Penn State in 25. Able to bring him in because, that was during that time. We weren't sure what was going to happen with Quad or what was going to happen with Makai. So we were trying to find the most talented guys we could find, and he was one of them.
Yeah. You see Coach Campbell, he started this off. Hey, close only counts in horseshoes, man.
Yes.
You got 11 time to do it right, and hopefully you on the winning side of that 11 and now 12. Because how did you come out of spring? Did you feel? I know when I coached, we used to try to find players in the spring. How was your spring practice? Did you find some guys coming out that can help you?
Coach, you're absolutely right. I've always looked at it the same way. In spring ball, you're trying to find guys, and we're really, for me, I've always been trying to find those 1s and 2s that are going to be able to play for us in the fall. I've always wanted to make sure we had those 1s and 2s. We knew who they were. Like, for instance, we went into we left 2025 our spring practice, and we were still looking. I mean, we literally were still looking. So we went into the summertime and all the way up to training camp, trying to find guys. And, I felt like that affected us last year. Like I said, you talk about trying to stop the run the football, be a physical and strong football team. Well, if guys aren't in your all-season program in January and February and March, and you get them in the summer, that's tough. I mean, that's tough. So we feel like, we came out of spring and, like I said, in much better shape than we did in 25. Not as many guys joined our program this summer as joined it last summer. We got most of those guys in January, and they had a chance to work with our strength coach. man, Big John Williams is our strength coach, and been a lot of places. He's been the head guy at Baylor. He's been the head guy at James Madison when they won a FCS national championship. But he's also been places like South Carolina State. But he does a great job with our players, not just the sports performance stuff, but also the mental toughness side. Coach Cole, I think you know what I'm talking about. That it's some tough conversations, and it's some, hey, that wasn't good enough. Hey, let's go back on the line. Let's go hit the stadium steps. You know what I'm talking about. So he brings a lot of that to our team.
Coach, the SWAC is probably deeper than it's ever been, at least in recent years. When you talk tradition of you and Coach Jackson last year at Prairie View, I think it added to what was already a good crop of coaches in the SWAC. And I think expectations were high for you. And last year, even though you were a first-year coach, the same way they were high for Coach Jackson, who ultimately went out and won the SWAC championship. My question to you, Coach, what are your expectations for the Alabama A&M football team in 2026? And what has to happen so that you guys have a chance to win the SWAC championship?
Well, our expectations are high. I mean, we've got high expectations. I've been a part of championship teams as a player and a coach. I got a lot of coaches on my staff that have been a part of championship teams. So that's the goal and expectations for us. I mean, it's to find a way to, get to that SWAC championship game, find a way to get to the Celebration Bowl. Now, will it be easy? Absolutely not. I mean, there's a lot of, like you said, I feel like the SWAC is, right now, one of the top conferences in FCS football. I mean, you just look around it, and you mentioned some guys. You mentioned myself and Coach Jackson. But Terrell Buckley last year was his first year at Valley, and you talking about a guy that's coached at Mississippi State, Florida State, brings an NFL pedigree. You look at this year, Quinn Gray. I mean, Quinn Gray, man, I coached against him a couple years. SIAC, really good coach, was a great player in college and pro ball. Just a lot of guys, man, in this conference that bring championship pedigrees to this conference. So it's competitive, but at the same time, like I said, we feel like we're doing the right things to put ourselves in a position to have a chance to have success. But at the end of the day, we're going to take it one game at a time. I mean, and that's not coach talk, but we really are going to take it one game at a time, because we got a big one, coming up that's not in the SWAC, the MEAC SWAC Challenge. August 29th, we got Howard over in Atlanta. And that's going to be a primetime game, 7:30 kick on ABC, national audience. So that's the one that we're looking forward to right now. People talk about, ask about all the classics and stuff that we've got during the season. But, I mean, right now, that's the biggest one on our schedule.
And, Coach, the last 2 years, I believe, the whole entire Coaches Corner cast has been at that game. And it's a tremendous environment. It almost resembles a playoff or even championship environment the first week of the season. So, Coach, I'm sure your guys will be fired up and ready to go. I want to ask you this year, Coach, because I'm a big fan of yours, even though you were a Redskin. So, with that one exception, I'm a big fan of Sam Shade. When you came into this conference, my expectation that your teams would be physical, like you say, be able to run the football, stop the run, and really be really stingy on defense. Well, it turns out you had a high explosive offense, and your defense at times was kind of leaky, right? To be perfectly honest with you. So, Coach, what have you done to improve that situation, or can we look for the high-powered offense and also to have a much more stingy defense, or are you going to go back to what I would consider a running team that has a pretty stingy defense?
Well, Rocky, I'll say this to you. To me, the top 3 teams in the conference last year, they had, I felt like they all had the same formula. They were able to run the football. I mean, they were at the top of the conference rushing the ball, and they were at the top of the conference stopping the rush. And I've always, that's always been my philosophy since I've been in coaching. You know, I've been a part of championship teams off of that philosophy. Matter of fact, I heard a national championship Power 4 coach say last week that, you know, that was what they've got to do to get back to being champions. He said they got to stop the run and they got to be able to run the football. Like it's not rocket science to me. And I feel like, you know, last season, you know, coming in, it was just, you know, tough. Number one, we got in after the December signing day. So missed out on a lot of guys, including high school guys in that December one, that early signing period. And then, you know, kind of the same thing with the early transfer portal. Just felt like we missed out on some guys and, you know, just weren't able to put together the type of team talent-wise that we wanted to put together. But, you know, at the same time, we tried to find a way. And, you know, like I think Coach Cole might have said it, you know, we had 3 games in the SWAC that we were winning all 3 of those games at a point in the fourth quarter. And, you know, we lose to Bethune by 7. They scored late. We lost to FAMU. They scored late. We go down to Grambling and, you know, they scored late when to beat us. So to beat us by 3, and, you know, FAMU beat us by 3. And so, you know, that's tough, but, you know, that's football. And all you can do is learn from it. But I do feel like those 3 games, I didn't feel like we were mentally tough enough to close out those games and win those games. But that's something that we've worked on, you know, the mental toughness side, like how you going to handle adversity when it strikes. You know, it's like sudden change. You know, you got the ball, it's going great, you throw an interception or you fumble or something like that. How's your defense going to step out there and handle it? Are they going to have the right mindset, the right mentality? And so those are things that we've been working on with our football team. We've been working on, you know, trying to get all those things shored up for this season.
Coach, I want to ask you a question. You talked about it. I kind of want to share something because you talked about the schedule and where you started. But this is what I'm looking at it, and I kind of want to share it and kind of get your opinion on this. And this is your schedule coming out, and this is what we got right here. Coach, you guys, like you say, big game, national TV, goes right against how everybody gets to see what you do. But, Coach, let me tell you something. When I started looking at this schedule, and you play Miles College, you play Tennessee State at home, Bowie State comes, and then you go see them Rattlers. Coach, you guys could be 4-0 potentially before you come down there and see my Rattlers. But then, Coach, right behind that, that's when I think when you talk about mentally tough, you go to Rattlers, Jackson State, Bethune, Grambling, and Alabama State, and Prairie View. When you're looking at that schedule, Coach, how do you sit back and say, and I know we've heard that 1-0, shout out to Chinsbury, you know, and everything. But I know Coach has talked about there are quadrants in the season, you know, your first third, your second third, your first. How do you sit back and say, you know what, let's start off strong, because now when we get down and we go down to Tallahassee, that's when the dogfight starts for us to win the conference.
Well, yeah, I'll say this to you, Ms. Campbell, and this is, you know, this ain't coach talk. You know, what you normally do with a coaching staff, Coach Cole will tell you this, in the off season, you take the first 3, possibly 4 games, and you break them down, you do scouting reports on those teams. And that's what you worry about. You don't, you know, spend time on the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th game. You don't spend time on them. You spend it on those first 4. And, you know, obviously for us, man, you know, Howard's got all of our attention, but, you know, the coaching staff did have to do scouting reports on those first 4. But the team, all we talked about with our team is Howard. I mean, That's it, because you can't win them all, or you can't get to a championship without winning the first one, man. So, we feel like we got to get off to a good start. So if anything, man, we would love to, be able to get off to a good start in that first ball game. And myself as a head coach, because yes, sometimes the head coach does have to look ahead a little bit, or just plan, just kind of planning. Maybe you change up the way you practice at a certain point early in the season. Training camp, it's going to be a tough training camp. I just feel like in order to play football, you got to play football. Like you got to, get some live reps in and all that type of stuff. I mean, I'm kind of old school when it comes to that. We're going to have some toughness because we're going to do it in practice. But, maybe at some point, going into the second, third game, maybe we change up the way we practice.
Coach, it's interesting that you mentioned practice, because with in the past there was 63 scholarships or 63 scholarship players. The rosters have been expanded to 104. I don't know how many scholarships you guys offer, but my question is this: do you have more confidence now that you have an expanded roster that you can go full speed during training camp and you won't have to worry as much about injuries upsetting your season, because you tend to have, I believe you would have a more deeper roster if you had your full complement of 105 scholarships? Do you have more confidence you can go through a tough training camp? And the concern is, sometimes coaches go in there with the concern of, let's get out of training camp healthy and see what we got during the season. But it seems like your philosophy is, I want to know when I leave training camp, I want to know what I have.
Yeah, absolutely. And we try to find out as much as we can in spring ball. But, then sometimes in training camp, I feel like, you still gotta make sure that you got what you think you have. But I will say this though, actually, things have changed, because now Division I football, we've got the 105 roster limit. So that means that we can only have 105 players on our roster. And it used to be where, for instance, Nebraska before this rule had 160 guys on their football team. I mean, there were a bunch of walk-ons. And, if we still had if we were still under the old rule, we would have 125 to 130 guys, because of the walk-ons that you would have. And that would allow you also to be able to practice with, more live reps, more physicality and whatnot. But with 105, that does change your thinking on, how much you go live and, have those physical practices.
So in essence, the 105, let me get an understanding. The 105, actually, you have much more limited camp bodies than you would if you had a roster where you had more walk-ons.
Yes.
So with that being the case, would you say the 105 does it provide any benefit to you to be able to provide 105 scholarships to a program?
Well, so the way that the scholarship deal works right now in FCS, some FCS schools are able to have up to 85, the equivalent of 85 scholarships that they could break up amongst 105 players. So that's the way that the scholarship deal works. It used to be in FCS, you had 63 was the max, and you could break 63 up amongst 85. But the NCAA has raised that from 85 to where you can break those scholarships up amongst 105.
Okay. Coach, you got anything? You on mute, Coach.
Yeah, okay. I just listened to Coach. With Coach Shue coming in this year, you got to be healthy. Speaking of the kid, Malik from Pine Bluff, quarterback.
Makai,
I'm sorry. What kind of kid is he? I didn't hear some good things about him. I hate to talk about kids. You've coached him. Kids react in different situations. Now that you've had him, and You know, what kind of kid is he?
Well, you know, the first thing about Makai, I mean, that I like is he's a grad. I mean, he's a business school graduate, so you know he's got a good head on his shoulders. That's the first thing. You know, you look at his track record, you know, from high school, and I know they didn't quite win at Pine Bluff, but when he's been out there playing, he's had success. I mean, he's talented as far as his arm talent and all those things, and you know he knows where the ball should go and all those things. So, you know, those are the qualities, you know, that you look for in a quarterback. Now, you know, every quarterback isn't going to be, I guess, a big rah-rah guy. You know, he's a little bit more reserved, maybe a little more quiet. But, you know, I've been around guys like that too in pro ball that were, you know, when those lights came on, man, they, you know, the stage wasn't too big for them.
Yeah.
You know, we feel like that about him. The only thing with Makai is that, you know, he didn't play last year. He didn't play last season. You know, didn't practice last season. So, matter of fact, in spring ball, he didn't take a lot of reps in spring ball because he actually just got his waiver this summer. Actually got it like late June.
Wow.
So, you know, because we didn't know if he was going to be able to play, he hadn't taken a whole lot of reps since he took those reps at Pine Bluff. Just really hadn't.
Yeah. Well, you know, Coach, I know your style, and I just can't believe you ain't got your running back. You ain't got your stable up in there, because I know you come with backs up here. Well, who is this cat? And they all run hard and the like. I know you guys don't went out and got some running backs.
Well, Coach, you know, I told you, man, we had one from the state of Alabama, man, that transferred back to us from Wake Forest, man. Great kid, great young man, comes from a great family. And, you know, just unfortunately, you know, we lost him this spring, but, you know, we'll get him back after this season. And But we've got Maurice Edwards at running back. He's coming back from last season. He got the injury bug last year. He had the injury bug, but really, you know, really good back. Actually started his college career off at Vandy, and good student, but really good running back. And I think he's going to have a pretty good year for us this year. And we got another young man that played for us last year, coaching Nero. He's actually from the state of Alabama, down in the Mobile area, that plays running back. He's a bigger back, I think those two guys are going to be kind of a thunder and lightning type deal for us this coming season.
Yeah, I understand. You know, coming in, and you spoke so highly of your strength coach. I know when, you know, programs I took over, we didn't do well that first year, but that strength coach means a lot. You know,
absolutely
ready. And you know, when you hear about a lot of injuries, usually it's from that. So you feel real good of going into this season, you know, ready to go, and everybody is healthy.
Right. And then the other thing about our strength coach, we didn't get him on board until the end of June of 25. So, you know, really he didn't have a lot. He wasn't able to put his fingerprint on our football team much last year because of, you know, when we got him. But he's had a whole cycle now. You know, he and I talk about that. I tell him all the time. I said, man, it really takes a cycle to evaluate people. You know, and I really believe that. And man, I feel he's done a great job with our guys, because you can see the difference in them physically, and you know, even the conditioning and running and all that stuff. So, you know, like I said, we're excited.
When you look when you look at your recruiting, whether you're more on the end because, you know, you kind of fell off at the end, did you more look for the mature player in the portal, or were you guys more favored to the high school side?
Well, we tried to find older guys that could come in and fill our immediate needs at certain positions. That's the first thing that I feel you got to do is fill your immediate needs. And then you look at positions where, okay, you don't need a starter maybe at right tackle. Our right tackle started every game. Bruce Crenshaw started every game last year, had a good season for us. So obviously we didn't need a starter at that position. So we're able to go younger and, find a high school guy that we could bring in and train up. So that's our philosophy, is fill the immediate needs with older guys, and then take the high school guys where you're trying to build depth and you can afford for a guy to not have to play that first year.
Hey, Coach, summer workouts, I think summer workouts are important for this reason, for many reasons, but for the reason of, I think in summer workouts, team leaders are established during summer workouts, right?
Yes.
And you notice, you say your strength coach got in there late. How are you feeling coming into this season about the leadership of your team, and have those guys been identified? And do you have enough leadership to kind of hold up the character and the program, maintain the standard of the program?
Rocky, man, that's a great subject you touched on, because last season we didn't have many leaders. We really didn't. I mean, it was unfortunate. Quad Brown was our biggest leader on last year's team, not just on offense, but the entire team. And obviously when he went down, that was big. That was big for us. But yes, that's something that we tried to address in the offseason. We talked about we needed more leaders. And so that's something that myself and coaches talk to different players about, especially the guys that have been here and have played. Like I mentioned, Bruce Crenshaw started every game for us at right tackle. We're also getting back at right guard, Tyrell Lawrence. He was a transfer here before I got here from Minnesota. He's a Canadian kid, a big kid, 6'5", 6'6", 6'6", about 385, and strong. Wasn't able to play last year because of a shoulder injury, so he missed all last season. But we get him back, big time leader. We've got some more leaders defensively that we've added, and got some guys offensively at the receiver position. Jarrell Williams, he's a transfer receiver from West Virginia. That's also from Mobile, Saraland High School. So, the leadership part of it, that was big for us last year. I felt like that hurt us not having the leadership that we needed. But I feel like this year we're a totally different team from a leadership standpoint.
I was just going to say, Coach Jackson mentioned that and Coach Dishman mentioned, with more leaders on the team, you guys have to do less coaching, and so that you guys can work on some of the intricate details to make the team better, rather than trying to enforce keep spending your time enforcing the standards.
You hit it on the head. I was talking to some of my staff members about it. I think what it is unfortunately, because of the transfer portal and, so many guys leaving and going other places every year, you don't have that program where you got guys been in the program 3-4 years and they know what the standard is. They know what the expectations are, and they uphold the standard even when the coaching staff is not around. Meaning, like, for instance, we had a guy park in a handicap spot, and that shouldn't just be the coaches saying something about it. That should be players also saying something. But, I just think in today's football, I don't think we'll ever have as many leaders on a football team as we had pre-transfer portal. Just, because you've got guys coming and going so much. But we feel like we got enough leaders to, put ourselves in a position that we weren't in last year, to be able to have some guys step up, not just in games, but in practices.
Coach, I want to ask you something, because, you were known as a smart, tough, physical football player. Something happened that wasn't on your watch, but I want to talk about it because I think it's important, because I know the type of coach you are. you all, unfortunately, Alabama A&M got hit with APR, but you got a waiver and things like that. What are you doing, Coach? Because, of course, it's a rolling APR. It wasn't on your watch. It's just like with Coach Gray, you inherited, and as Coach Gray, we'll move forward. But what are you doing because you saw clearly there was a problem? What are you doing because you know how, as they say, you know what the standard looks like as far as academics and far as being a great football player? What are you doing to make sure that your tenure is always above board on APR benchmark?
Well, first thing, and I think Coach Cole will tell you this, man, because I know he was at Lane College, for instance. In Division II ball, you don't have the academic support that you've got on the FCS level. So the coaching staff has to do a whole lot on that level as far as you got to be the academic advisor. You've got to do the study hall. Sometimes you might even have to be the tutor. So that's something that I was, I was used to that, and, talk to my staff about that when we got here, just making sure that, we try to stay on top of the academics with our guys. Because, and it's not enough just to ask a guy, man, hey, how your class is going? Because all of them going to say it's going all right. Well, I mean, you got to sit down and, really spend time and say, well, hey, Ken, man, what's going on in this class? Like, is the professor talking about anything good? Does he ever say anything to make you laugh? And then, you just got to try to get into those guys' heads where they start to talk to you and let you know what's really going on. But I will say this, here at Alabama A&M, from our president all the way down to our coaching staff, we've all gotten involved in that part of it, the APR situation, just as far as our academic support staff, we feel like that's been ramped up. Instead of just study halls, more tutoring, one-on-one situations with our at-risk student athletes. A lot of that stuff going on. And, one of the biggest things with APR is retention, because what happens, for instance, we had some guys get in the portal this year that we didn't want to get in the portal, but they got in the portal, and then some of those guys haven't gotten out of the portal. So they haven't matriculated to somewhere else. And that hurts you from an APR standpoint. Also,
that's 2 points. Yeah, instead of one, you can lose 2, and you can basically. And I did a show on this. Basically, you can only lose maybe about 12 guys, or if not, you're underwater. And especially if they don't go anywhere, it really kills you. Yeah,
exactly. So it's not just eligibility that the NCAA is looking at; they're also looking at retention, and that's a big part of it. And unfortunately, a lot of these guys are looking for this. And, not just looking for, hey, I can get that degree from here. They, and then they'll chase sometimes what I call fool's gold and, put themselves out there and then end up not going anywhere because maybe you're on a full scholarship here and the best you got was a Division II offer, which wasn't a full scholarship. And some guys decide to stay at home. Yeah. They don't want to pay because they never had to pay.
Yeah, Coach, I'm sorry, come on, close up. I just wanted to address that because that's one of the things I think for HBCUs that's just such a challenge, is because, like you're saying, because what you're doing, you're developing guys, and then hey, they want to move on to the next level. But then you got these street agents, and Coach, listen, and it was different back in your day because I used to be an agent. You actually had got to go to the NFL. Now you got guys that are not even certified. That's got guys and talking about, hey man, I can get you $1,500 extra, and these guys are jumping in the portal, and like you said, they're not even getting offers. So those are the things. So do you talk to your kids about just even financial intelligence now that, like you said, that you didn't have to do a couple of years ago? Do you even have that conversation about understanding people that'll make you offers and understand the business side of the sports now?
Well, absolutely, because number one, I'm a finance major. Number two, man, I've been through the agent recruiting process as a player, obviously dealing with that in the NFL. And so myself, and I got guys on my staff that are former NFL players that, also talk to the players about, some of these agents that come along and they tell you, well, your PFF rating is this, so I can get you this. But, a coach at another school might not have ever seen your film. He might not know that, hey, yeah, you might have led us in tackles, but, that's because this guy was hurt, that guy was hurt, and, we got down to you and you had to play. So, a lot of those ratings are not what the big schools are looking at that some of these kids are trying to get in the portal to get to.
Yeah, Coach, if you're a nose guard and you make 40 tackles 6 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, I don't care where you make your tackles at. I mean, I don't care how many tackles you got. Those aren't the tackles they want nose guards to make.
Absolutely. I mean, because, somebody drove you 5 yards back before you were able to make the tackle. So, I think, man, unfortunately.
What'd you say, Coach? You got seven tackles and a plus 49. We can't. You got 7 tackles, but you tackled him 7 yards back the other way.
Right, man, you got some TFLs, some tackles for losses on there. Man.
Well, Coach, man, look, hey, I know you guys are about to get this thing started, man. You're anxious, you're fired. You definitely got to get some rest. Gonna be up all night. Look, HBCU Coaches Corner, Cole, man. Look, I ain't saying you're gonna win it, but damn it, ain't gonna be no 4-7. Hey, look, you, Coach, you climbing uphill, baby. You got them J-State Tigers over there. You got one of the top players in the country you got to beat, which is your neighborhood down this road. But you got your road cut out for you, man. And I want y'all Alabama A&M fans. He needs support. He don't need no problems.
Coach Cole, you're right, man. We definitely got our work cut out for us this year. Yeah. But man, as a competitor, I mean, that's what you want, man. You want to play the best you can play, and I think, man, our conference is SWAC, man. Like I said, is one of the top conferences in FCS, and so, man, we're excited about the season.
Hey, Coach, can I show you one quick thing though before you get up out of here? Because again, I found this, and we talked to it because, like I say, a lot of our coaches have played and everything. Do you ever have to let me share this, Coach? Because Coach, do you ever have to show these guys this picture? Wait a minute.
Please, it ain't Coach singing, is it?
Oh. No, this ain't Coach. Coach, do you have to get in the stands on these boys sometime, Coach, and let them know that you did it at a high level?
No, I'm too far away from getting in the stands, man. I've been away from it too long.
What you say, Coach? Underneath that 3-1, you got a little punch now.
Yeah, man. Guys tell me all the time. They said, "What you play, linebacker instead of defensive back?"
Hey, Coach, we got one last issue that we have with you, Coach. We had one of our guys enter the transfer portal this past spring, early winter, and you guys picked him up, man. You guys took Scotty away from us, and you guys signed him, and he's been with y'all ever since. So, Coach, can you just give the fans an idea what it is? What it's like to coach Scotty and work alongside him over there at Alabama A&M?
Well, I'll just say this, man. Scotty, he's wearing a lot of different hats, around here, but he's still he's a big part of our social media and some of our external things that we have going on in the athletic department. So he does a good job, though. He does a good job, works really hard. Matter of fact, he actually spent a little time with our team earlier tonight. He actually spent a little time talking about things like branding and social media and NIL and things like that. So, he brings a lot because, he's coming from the same space that you guys are in. And, that's a big part of college sports, not just college football now, but that the social media and the branding. And like I said, you guys do a great job, man, of, really putting HBCU sports, particularly football, out there in a big way. And so he's trying to, do some of the same here at Alabama A&M.
Hey, Coach, wait a minute. Do you have one more minute? I want to ask you something.
Absolutely.
Okay, because you brought that up, and I want to get your reaction because I thought something I saw was very interesting that you Bulldogs did.
Oh, okay.
That Scotty had something to do with. And I'm going to show this. And Coach, tell me your reaction on the other side on this.
So much more media training I can get. Right, no,
saw this.
Media training. Okay.
Welcome to Media Day 1-on-1 with me, Professor Scotty, where headlines are the only thing that matter. Squad, question to you. How do you feel about your team's schedule? How would you respond?
Well, I think we have a great schedule. We respect every opponent, and we're taking it one game at a time.
That's cute. But no, we ain't worried about nobody. Matter of fact, print that. That's the headline. Because remember, where headlines are the only thing that matter. All right, next question. Just forget it. Next question. J. Hud, easy question for you. How would you describe this football team?
I would say we're a team that's hungry, disciplined, and ready to compete and win.
No! What you say is, have you ever seen a pack of Bulldogs feeding?
No.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to get it, man. You got to understand, it's about the headlines, man. Next question. What should Bulldog fans expect this season?
They can expect us to work really hard and represent Alabama A&M well.
To give everything we got and play hard.
To give everything we got and play. No, you tell them Saturdays are must-see TV. You must come see us. Headlines, fellas. Headlines.
Professor Scotty, what if they don't like the headline?
Don't like headlines? That's like a pig not liking bacon. Make more headlines.
I ain't gonna lie, he just said something like that, bro.
Yeah, I'm picking up what he putting down, bro.
All right, y'all, come on. Let's go. We're getting ready to head down to Birmingham. How'd it go?
Get your popcorn ready, Coach.
We finna go every newspaper in America.
Uh-oh.
They're going to be just fine.
What y'all do to my clipboard?
Coach. Now listen, let me tell you something. First of all, shout out to your players. Because the level, and I mean the acting, Coach,
yes.
They got another job. Coach,
Right.
when you saw this, what first of all, did they clear this with you, Coach, or you saw it on the back end? Did they talk to you and say they were doing this, Coach?
You know what? I actually knew they were doing it. You know what's funny, man? One of the players said, "Coach, we gonna do this?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." But at the same time, the players, man, they had the coach talk ready. They you can tell they had been coached up by me on what we need to say and all that. But Scotty, man, he comes from a totally different deal. So, but yeah, they had some fun with that. We were getting ready to go down for SWAC Media Days. So, they just had a little fun. I thought it was something, to kind of get our fans excited about SWAC Media Day and, wanting to watch and listen and see what was said, all those type of things. So, I'm always, into things that are gonna bring good media attention to our university and to our football program.
Well, Coach, I'm gonna say this, and I know those guys want to comment. Those two young men, when I say represented you, your coach staff and the university, very well. And because I was just amazed because again, when because people know Scott like my son to me, and he sent it to me, and I said, man, you ain't even those guys actually are better than you. So just the fact that you were able to put that, and Coach, like they said, hey, Saturday's must-see TV, Coach. They said it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Coach. And since for whatever reason y'all decided not to send Scotty to SWAC Media Day, I'm glad they was able to take that class that he gave in
Coach said no comment on that.
Yes, no comment.
I'm gonna say you for that, Coach. I'm gonna say you on our no comment
no,
on that.
just joking. That's an inside joke. Anybody want to know that joke? Text me.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh
yeah.
Hey, look here. Make sure you tell Coach Brian, AD, man. You know, I am being inducted into the Dayton-Dunbar Hall of Fame, the Wall of Fame. So, you know, if he make it down there, he invited over to big Dayton-Dunbar. He didn't go to our school. He went across the town.
You know, I'm gonna tell Coach Marco Coleman that too. One of you.
Oh, okay. Hey, Scotty's wife, she from Ohio too. So yeah, let him know.
And another thing about Scotty is Scotty's doing a great job. He making sure that team gonna be filled out in about 18 years. You're gonna have plenty of players out the Scott household because he's doing a great job of making sure that there are plenty of players down there in Alabama A&M, if you know what I mean.
That's sweet.
Gotcha. I like it.
Man, Coach, man, as always, man, it's beautiful. Wish you luck on that first one coming out of the block. Get started, man, and get where you want to be, man. Hey, with you being healthy, Coach, you just make the SWAC that much better.
Absolutely, man. I think it's every Saturday in the SWAC, man. You look around the conference. It's any Saturday.
It's the day. It's almost gonna be the days of old, man. It's gonna be the days of old when the big boys was coaching at them jobs. So I look forward to this year, man. Thank you very much always, man, for being a part of our show.
All right, looking forward to seeing you guys over in Atlanta too, man, for the MEAC SWAC, man. I definitely look forward to speaking to you guys and chopping it up a little bit.
Yeah, Coach, all right, I'll see you down in Tallahassee because I'm gonna walk right up to you.
Coach, represent the SWAC down there because Southern did a horrible job last year. Just to mention that to you.
Well, you know that's the other part of that first game, man. There's a lot of pressure to represent the SWAC. A lot of pressure on us to go and represent the SWAC. But you know, man, we're excited about the challenge, and you know, just excited about representing Alabama A&M University. Man, we're gonna have a big crowd over there. We got a lot of alums in Atlanta. Man, they're excited. They got a bunch of events going on, and they're gonna pack that stadium out come August 29th.
That's good. That's good.
It is.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Coach Sam Shade.
And that is Coach Sam Shade from Alabama.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, that's a great dude, man. I really like Coach Shade, man. And he's one of those guys that I'm rooting for, man. I hope he does well, man. I hope his team performs well. I know there's only one trophy in the SWAC, but he's one of those guys. I hope his team represents him well this season, and I hope he comes away with a few more victories than he did last year, Coach.
Oh man, I definitely gonna get it going in the right direction. You know, it's gonna take some time, you know, because he is over on the other side with some heck of a coaches and heck of a programs that have got a jump start on him. You know, Bethune-Cookman did finish real well. Man, they sleeping on you guys over there at Florida A&M. And let me tell you something about this sneaky guy over here, Rocky. You notice he ain't saying nothing. Nothing. He just letting them talk. Letting them talk.
No, well, no, you know, they got
you
people
ain't
saying Valley.
You're sneaky. You're sneaky,
listen,
Cameron.
Coach,
You're sneaky.
You got folks out here saying that Valley gonna have a 3-game win streak on FAMU. Now, but I will say this, because Prairie View folks was getting a little bit cranky and doing a lot of talking. Y'all were the last people that lost 2 in a row to Valley. So I had to look that up because I thought I remember that just a couple of years ago. So Valley has beaten people in the SWAC 2 in a row.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so I just want to put that out there. But Coach, listen, I'm gonna pull the schedule up because I want to get your opinion on this, right?
You know,
when I looked at this,
Rocky, he's sneaky, color. He ain't never been this quiet in the 2 years.
Coach,
we just pull a little FAMU now. You know, we lose the Valley. You know what I'm saying? That's what they said. We lose the Valley. I want to ask you guys really about the schedule.
I saw some issues with the schedule too that came up was very interesting to me about the schedule, and I'm gonna see if you guys pick up on it as well.
Cause that's when. let me pull it. Okay, here we go. Because coach, that's why. And again, I know he had to answer the way he had to answer, which was great and everything. But when I looked at this schedule, hold on, that's not the one I want.
You know, Coach. Let me ask you this here, Coach. When you were coaching, at what week did you want to find out who you were in the season?
Well, usually, you know, the team make its biggest jump after game 2, from game 1 to game 2, and you'll see what you got. And, you know, game 2 will really tell you what you got, where you're going to be, and you know, whether you just, hey, look here, we hanging in here, or man, boy, we got something here. You know what I'm saying? And from game 1 to game 2, the team make its biggest jump.
So, okay. So when you start off with a I'll let Cameron bring up the schedule and see if you guys see.
So, Coach, when I looked at this schedule, and again, talking about it, so again, you got Howard. Howard is picked at the bottom of the MEAC, which is very interesting, but they are picked at the bottom. You go D2 Miles College. Tennessee State, unfortunately, picked at the bottom of OVC.
Picked last.
Bowie State, D2. And mind you, other than all these games are in Huntsville. And then you come down to Tallahassee. I'm going to push that to the side just for the personal buy. But then you go Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman, Grambling, and Alabama State and Prairie View. Right there, all on top. Now, mind you, all in Alabama. All the games other than the Prairie View game in Alabama, so they ain't got to go far. But Coach, what do you think? This is the season right here for them. And when I saw this,
go ahead.
Yeah, because again, you know, let's just play it out. And like I said, this is nothing against Coach Shep. I'm just saying how it could happen. They go to Tallahassee, they play a hard game, they lose their game. Then they got Jackson State. They played Bethune tough, lost to Bethune. They lost to Grambling. They lost to Alabama State. And then you got Prairie View. Coach, this thing right here is going, and I'm talking about the testament of what he's talking about, a tough team. You got to be mentally tough when you hit this stretch right here, Coach. What do you think about that?
You know, the plus part about it, Coach, is it looks like I'm going to be healthy. That's the major thing. I'm going to be healthy. When I start playing tough team, I'm going to be healthy. I'm soft up top. And then when I get ready to go through the thick of things, at least I'll be healthy coming and when it start getting deep.
So, Coach, you mean you're not concerned that you may be into your 5th week playing FAMU and you don't know who you are?
Well, you should know who you are by then. You gonna know.
How will you find out?
What you mean in your 5th week?
So what I'm saying is, where in the first 4 games are they going to find out who they are?
They're going to find out who they are the first 2 games. Howard, if they go in there and beat Howard hands down, man, we got us something. Go to Miles College, let's beat them down, let's make our corrections, move on up. We should beat Miles. Move up, Coach, for Miles.
Yep.
And then who is that? Bowie State?
No, you host Tennessee State. You host Tennessee State, and then you host Bowie.
Oh, and Tennessee State tell you too. You know, Tennessee State will tell you too who you are.
Even though they're picked to be last in the OVC.
Yeah, Coach, because momentum, being healthy, feeling good about yourself. You know what I mean? That you kind of want that heading to a game. If you beat these teams 35-7, 40-something, you know what I mean? You know, we Alabama A&M, we ain't Prairie View coming in with a hammer. We ain't Jackson State mowing over people. We Alabama A&M trying to figure it out.
So
and I'm coming in there 4-1, 5-0.
Coach, they should go in. They should come into the FAMU game 4-0.
Yeah,
no question.
Yeah.
And my point is, Coach, at that point, if you find out because I think that's where you're gonna find out who you are on the road against FAMU. This is just my opinion. I don't think you're gonna truly find out who you are at Howard, in the SWAC MEAC Challenge against Howard, or against Tennessee State. I may be wrong, but I don't think you're gonna find out who you are in those two games. But I definitely think on the road at Bragg, you're gonna find out who you are.
I won the SWAC championship, coach, and lost to Tuskegee. Knew we should have beat them, just didn't play well. I won a SWAC championship after I lost to Tuskegee. And Tuskegee, I think it was number 3-4 game down in the season. I'm telling you that you're going to know who you are in them first 2 or 3. And the biggest thing is if I'm coming out of there healthy, Greg going through the thick of my program. Because, see, health is big, man. It's big. At Alabama State, coach, every time we got down to Tuskegee guys, man, we were broke up. And 3 years in a row, they beat us. Even when we went to the SWAC championship twice, they beat us. Tuskegee beat us at Alabama State. And we was one of the best teams in the country. I finished number 2 in the country and lost to Tuskegee up early in the year. So with that, that's why I'm saying from experience, you're going to know who you are after the game. Now,
okay.
A big contest is going to be against Florida A&M. If we can go in there in Florida A&M and beat them and feel good and come out of that game healthy, shit, I'm ready. Shit, I'm feeling just as good as everybody else.
Well, coach, let's play that game, right? Let's play that game. So it doesn't matter because the game's gonna be decided on the field. They beat FAMU, they're 5-0 now, right?
Yep.
They go down to Mobile and they gotta play Jackson State.
Yep.
Let's just say they play a tough game, but they lose to just whatever.
That's okay.
They got Bethune-Cookman at home. They beat Bethune.
I think they can go in there, Bethune, maybe rest a kid or two if been hurt, get back healthy, beat Bethune, and take on Grambling.
And then they get Grambling. Now, coach, they could be, what is that? 5-1.
5-1.
No, that's 6, guys.
6, 7, 7-1. Coach, they could be 7-1 or at 6-2 going into the Classic.
Matter of fact, they should, in my opinion, they should be 7-1, and Alabama State should be 8-0 going into the Magic City Classic.
Coach, so now you're getting to my point. So what? I have 6-2, 7-1, Alabama State wrong. Coach, what does that do for Coach Shea if he can come in that game with that record?
Coach, shit, damn Coach Shea, he ain't gonna hit nobody. Them damn players gonna be sky high, coach. They're gonna be ready to go, coach. And they got two damn good quarterbacks. 2 now. That boy played for Pine Bluff. What am I saying his name right?
Makai Higgins.
Coach, he can do it. Now, what I did here, he wasn't a good locker room guy. He was an eye guy. But coach, that kid can do it now.
Yeah, but I think Brown is the guy. I think Brown is the guy. Yeah, I think Brown is the guy. Now, coach,
Brown been to damn near 5 schools.
Yeah, but he been there long enough at Alabama A&M though, coach.
Yeah. Oh no, he been to Alabama A&M 2 years.
Now, coach, now they play Alabama State one way or another. How do you get back and then get yourself up to go down to Texas? That long trip, but their longest trip of the season.
Coach, they ain't, at this point, it's Tallahassee and Alabama is the only places they done been until they go to Prairie.
Yeah.
And Atlanta.
Well, Atlanta. Yeah,
hey,
okay.
Unfortunately, we got them losing against Jackson State and Alabama State. So all they doing now is playing just playing football. You know what I mean? Unless Prairie View is struggling on if they lose one. Then,
So
if it's
can I make a okay? Let's just talk to Lionel about this, because Lionel, can you scroll it back, Coach? Like, what if they are 7-1 going into the Classic? What have they done monumental where they can't be 7-1? Like it ain't like the 85 Bears ain't on here.
Well,
So
I'm gonna tell you, and this is just a fact, and this goes for both teams right here. This game right here against FAMU is critical for both teams.
yes.
This is the game, as Coach said, because that 4-0, that listen, they should beat Howard. They should be, because like I say, and I believe in Sam shit, because if they lose to Howard, then they're gonna have a whole bunch of problems. and I think Coach knows that, because Coach talked about, and I heard him when he talked about the strength and conditioning, but we need to be a tougher team. He talked about that at SWAC Media Day. That's one of the big bylines that came out of that, where we had to get tougher, bigger, faster, stronger. So if that's the case, and you know Howard's down, new coach, you should be able to, with your crew, go in there and win that game and beat everybody out. You come down to FAMU, we'll see what it looks like. That's the game right there that you'll really know what they're looking like. They lose that game close, then so be it. But I don't think that is too far off for them to sit
what I'm
back
saying is,
and
even
feel
with
comfortable that they can beat Bethune and Grambling. I don't see how that's a stretch.
No, let's be honest. Bethune is going to finish at the bottom of the East. I don't see them finishing above Mississippi Valley, maybe. And I think they could be beat by Mississippi Valley. So what I'm saying, the only thing that we're not saying they're going to beat Jackson State, but other than the game against FAMU, if they can win the game against FAMU, because I consider that a toss-up game at this point. Every other game, I think Alabama A&M is the favorite, and I'll say they're the favorite at home against Grambling on homecoming. Again, Grambling will have to show me again, that may change based on what Grambling puts on the field. But
I know this momentum being healthy.
Grambling has Mr. Campbell's favorite quarterback. So that's what they have. Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no, I just know momentum is important. Staying healthy is important. And if they can be rolling in there undefeated, and then you got to understand too the other teams. Let's just say Jackson State ain't starting fast. And they come in there rolling there, or they got somebody hurt. Let's say Grambling ain't starting fast, and we starting fast. You know what I mean? Winning and coming in there with winning records, it has a lot to do with carryover. That means we're putting everything together. Our confidence is there. We're not making a lot of mistakes. Because usually in those first two games, the team that make the less mistakes is usually the team that win the football game, especially in game one.
Again,
I pull up these stats right here because this is what Lionel was talking about. So you got Alabama A&M last year, out of 12 teams in the conference, they were 10th in offense. 12 teams in the conference, they were 9th in defense. So to that point, but here's what I'm gonna say about this stuff, and I'm gonna go to the BCU game, and I'll say this too: Alabama A&M got a quarterback coming back. Cookman got two. Cookman, and like I said, that's my guy, Tyler Jefferson, and his father. But he was our third string quarterback last year.
Is that the guy whose parents are FAMU alumni?
No, his daddy played at Albany State.
Okay. We met at one of the alumni events. We met one of the backup quarterbacks a couple of years ago at the SWAC championship. The SWAC championship. I was wondering, was that the kid you're talking about? The kid from Cincinnati that was a backup quarterback.
I don't see how you could sit back and say, if I got a guy that and everybody said is either top 3, top 4 SWAC quarterback, and then you got a guy, and like I said, nothing against my boy Jefferson, but he hasn't played. So that alone, to me, tips, and it's at home, tips the scale. Because Jefferson, you don't know what he's going to do.
Who's Jefferson with?
Bethune-Cookman, but he was at FAMU last year.
He was our third string quarterback.
Oh, shit.
He was, and now he's transferred to Bethune-Cookman. He's going to be the starter at Bethune-Cookman.
Quarterback.
But he's going to be the starter at Bethune-Cookman.
I don't give a third-team quarterback, man. Come on, man. We wasting time.
Hey, Coach, you told me you were the fourth-team quarterback once, Coach.
So that's why. That's why I think, again, See, Lionel, listen, Lionel. Okay, you keep doing this, and you know you my guy. I know people. He don't have to tell me nothing. Well, if I tell you that, just know it is that. Okay, this ain't them other shows. Okay, so let me make this PSA. This is HBCU Coaches Corner, where we actually know coaches, know players, know people. This ain't no folks that make them funny graphics and don't have nobody on their show. So if I tell you that, that is that. And it ain't nothing against you. That's just for everybody to know. I don't sit up here and talk about what I don't know. Okay, let's be clear on that.
I'm not gonna knock Jefferson, but I mean, you know, if he was
it's not a knock. So wait a minute. The point of it is, Coach Shea has a quarterback that has started, that has played, that people have said, we've seen all these lists. Brown is the second guy, the third guy, the fourth guy. He's on a list, so people believe that he can play.
Quad lit it up last year when he was available.
Exactly. So this is not a slight against Jefferson. This is actually saying the position that Brown is put in and the pressure. Now, let me flip it on Lionel's point. He's got to play well. He's got to play well because he's coming back. He has that skill set. So that's the thing about it. So that's the reason why I'm talking about that when you're looking at that. Because if I'm Coach Shea and these guys are coming to my house, we got to beat them.
You know, I don't see a world where now you saying they won't be the favorite. They absolutely will be the favorite in the SWAC MEAC Challenge. There's no doubt. There is no doubt about that.
No doubt about that.
With them traveling south, they're going to be the favorite. You got to understand, Howard is projected to finish last in the MEAC.
And that's with Norfolk State. Okay? Think about that. And they were 4-8 last year. And they think they're going to be worse than Norfolk State, which is a total, to me, disrespectful to Ted White, which we'll talk about on HBCU Coach Corner on Sunday.
Yeah. So again, they're going to be favored. I can't guarantee you how the game is going to turn out, but I know how I don't see a situation where Howard is the favorite. I just don't see a situation like that when they're traveling south in that heat, that time of year, and they're a bottom tier program in their conference. I don't see a situation where they're favored against Alabama A&M. Considering, just to your point, Coach, Alabama A&M having a proven quarterback going into that game is more than what Howard has.
That's the point. And that's going to be the point for them in that early part of the season until they get to FAMU. Rock, I just put this up for you right here. So we might have to start selling these right here. Rock can say he won the HBCU Coach Corner shirt.
Oh yeah, hey, we might. So
no, so Coach, okay, let me ask you this question because this is great about you being a coach. You got a quarterback that has played, but he got hurt. He's coming back. Second year in this offense. And when did they change offensive coordinators, did they? Alabama A&M. Did they change offensive coordinators? I want to be clear on that.
No.
Okay. So second year in the same offense. Like you said, guys been around forever, been to school for 8-9 years. How important is that for that maturity going into a season like that where there are some expectations?
Say that again. I'm sorry, Coach.
Coach, if you got a quarterback that's coming back, has played a little bit. Now he's a senior leader, and there's expectations on the team. How confident or how important is that for you as a coach to make sure this guy plays well and to get the team on a strong start?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got a guy that played a little bit last year and then coming in as a starter. You know, you feel good about it. He's making the plays. He's getting the reps. That's why, you know, when I hear some coaches like, oh, well, I don't have a starter. Well, you better have a starting quarterback because he needs reps. He needs a lot of reps to really show. You know, and then, you know, I don't know if you guys remember Coach Jackson said, the team going to let you know, too, who the guy is. You know, if they start circling around him, because it ain't always about the physical look. It's about making plays, doing smart things. You know, how you in the locker room. A quarterback plays a big, major role in that. And so if he sells you on that and you believe in that, you know, you'll feel good about it. And the thing about it, you got to make a decision as a coach. where we think we're gonna win at. Are we good at the running back spot? Are we good at the wide receiver spot? You know, what makes the quarterback? Is he a running guy? Is he a throwing guy? And then you always got to say, how good are we on defense? Because both teams got to play. All three teams got to play well. Kicking game, defense, and offense. So yeah, it's big about that trigger guy and what he does well, where you build an offense around him. But if he ain't him, then you build an offense around they. What's they? Do we got a good wide receiver core? Do we got a good running game? Or is our offensive line strong?
Again, Lionel, I got to address this, Coach, right quick. It says, you're talking as if A&M finished second or third in the East last year. Lionel, we're taking account that they lost their starting quarterback last year, right? They're bringing him back healthy, right? They also have a guy on their roster that when he was in the SWAC, he was the second best quarterback in the SWAC behind Daniel Richardson. Wouldn't you say that? That year that he played quarterback, was there anybody else better than him other than Daniel Richardson that played?
And he could have been better than Daniel Richardson if he had a
better team.
Yeah. And it wasn't like Daniel Richardson just blew it away now.
And I guess my thing is, here's my thing. And I think Sam Shea is a good coach. Lionel, the year before TJ got there, y'all only won 3 games in the conference. So, again, there are some levels. So, to your point, you can't take last year's price ain't today's price. So, I believe there's going to be at least some growth, just like with you guys. Because you only got on the year, just your point, you guys only won.
I'm saying
y'all see how winning do. Lionel, he don't got used to winning.
Boy, listen, hey, coach, he got out there, ain't he?
Hey, check this here out.
That boy trying to talk about other people. Don't he realize what they want the year before that?
Hey, coach. I think he's punching down now, coach. I think he's punching down. Why you punching down, Lionel?
Yeah.
You trying to take these people hope away from them?
Yeah, went about T-shirts, started his own podcast. They have bought season ticket sweet boxes.
Listen,
he's still retreating.
Now
he the man.
I'm like, come on, man.
Lionel punching down. He trying to take away people's hope, man.
I mean, and talking about what they did. They only won. How many games they won? How many games y'all won the year before? Come on, man. What are we doing?
I'm honestly expecting. Just follow me here. I'm expecting Sam Shea in his second year to be 500 in the SWAC. That's my realistic expectation for him, to be 500 in the SWAC. That means he beats 4 teams in the SWAC. Whatever 4 you want to call out, whatever. To me, how many teams can Howard beat in the SWAC?
None.
Not many.
Other than maybe Valley. And you know what? I'm going to say that. No, I'm not going to even say that. I'm not going to even say that.
Again. And then he goes to Tennessee State. Tennessee State is going to play Jackson State early in the season. You're going to know what that team is pretty much when they line up against Jackson State. And that'll tell you what Tennessee State is. When they play them early in the season, you'll know, you'll have some idea.
You just made me think about something. Keep going, Rocky. Because
you'll have some idea. And again, Tennessee State, with all due respect, and we probably going to have Coach Barlow on here, but the fact of the matter, they're picked to finish what? Dead ass last in the OVC. Wow. So you're telling me a last place team, 2 last place teams are going to be capable of beating a 500 team in the SWAC? Is that, Coach? Tell me, am I crazy?
No, Coach, you on point.
So that's what I'm saying. My question about the schedule altogether is this: I wouldn't want to be on the road going to brag, finding out who I am. I would have wanted to know who I am before I get to that game, and I don't think Howard and Tennessee State is going to put up a formidable enough challenge for Alabama A&M to find out who they are.
Rock, I had to put this up because Lionel did great metric. He broke it down, about strength of schedule. That's when everybody was crying about strength of schedule. But here's the problem when you say this, right? The fifth place team OVC beat South Carolina State. And I'm not saying it, but they beat y'all though. That's all that counts. That's all that counts. And we're not, and Tennessee State is not the fifth place team. They're getting picked last. So that's why I'm like, come on, man. What are we doing here? It don't even matter. But like I said, I just think again, and I'm just looking at what Coach Shade is bringing back. I believe this team is going to be strong. And again, it's kind of the same thing with Alabama State, Coach. All their big games are in their house. So the pressure's on. So to Coach Shade, you can't sit back there and say, hey, well, we had to go on the road. No, everybody's coming to Alabama other than Tallahassee, and you go to Prairie View. So you should be able to make something work if you want to be, to Rocky's point, to be an upper echelon team. Same thing with Alabama State. Hey, man, listen, you got Jackson State coming your way. You got Prairie View coming your way. You got FAMU coming your way. You play Alabama A&M in the Classic. Hey, man, listen. It's Celebration Bowl of bust, period. Ain't no in between. I'm not going to let nobody say that. So, listen, man, Coach, you know this. We in the SWAC. There's expectation that come coaching in the SWAC.
Yes.
And that go all the way down. But if you're Alabama A&M, you've hired Sam Shade, who is what Sam Shade is, Coach? A winner.
You're a winner.
A winner. So they expect him to win. Prairie View hired T-Jack. Why? Because he was a winner.
That's right.
Prairie View hired Coach Gray because what? He's a winner.
That's
So
right.
the pressure's on, Coach.
Hey, look, you got Gray, you got Eddie, you got my man at Jackson State, TC Taylor, and you got Sam Shade.
And let's be honest.
And Coach Woody, got that team rolling.
And again, y'all mentioned something that again, the more I think about this, it's kind of changing my mind about this being championship or bust, considering this. All the coaches on the East, other than Woody and Coach E-Rob, every other coach and the Mississippi Valley coach has a conference championship. Do you want to be in the? Does E-Rob want to continue being in the situation where he's mentioned with Woody and T-Buck as not having a conference championship, whereas Quinn Gray, Sam Shade, and TC all have conference championships?
And don't sleep on Coach Thomas. Said Thomas down at Alcorn now. He walked in the middle of a lot of chaos, and Alcorn was always steady now.
Yeah.
He might get that thing going over there.
But he's in the West, Coach, so he in
the West.
He in the West. But I'm just saying in the East, those guys have won before. And Coach Robinson is though he's been a tremendous coach. He's put together an amazing record under some very adverse circumstances.
Oh yeah.
But it may be time for him to win, though, Coach. It may be just that time for him to win it all.
No, when I talk to him, I ain't holding back. Eddie look, he better say it. He better say, and we'll win championship. It's a bust. We ain't talking about his job.
No, he's got the same thing like we said about Willie. Listen,
Coach
he's done Eddie Rock is a great coach. Yeah. But sometimes things line up for you. You got to take it. And the things are lined up for Alabama State for them to take it. Nobody's going to give it to them, but Jackson State comes to your house. FAMU comes to your house. Prairie View comes to your house. You got the player of the year. You got to win it.
Yeah.
Because anything less, because let me tell you something, and I can speak for two, and T-Jack's our guy. Because see, the people that have won it, they're going to say something about it. Fam, you're going to say, when it was our time, we won it. Jackson State said, when it was our time, we won it. Grambling, when it was our time, we won it. Alcorn, we won it. Prairie View said, when it took theirs, it wasn't even their time, allegedly, and they took it. So that's the coach. Like I said, this is the SWAC. This is what this is all about. Ain't nobody going to give you no pass.
Yeah, ain't no question, man.
And let me tell you something. And Eddie Robinson again. And you know what I like? I like Coach Eddie Robinson type of guy. You ever think he backed down from a challenge? Hell no.
Do y'all understand that Andrew Body, the only trophy he ain't won is a SWAC championship? He don't want every trophy you can get. After the year, quarterback of State of Alabama, athlete of Alabama, MVP of Alabama State, MVP of Texas Southern, first team all SWAC Texas. He don't want all that. But you gotta get that. Hey, you gotta win that championship.
Gotta get that hard work. Gotta get that championship, Coach.
Yeah, all that shit's preliminary. You gotta
hey guys, we right at that 2-hour mark, man. I wanna thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I want to remind everybody once again, please like and subscribe to the channel. Please like this broadcast and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you feel inclined, please join the membership, become a member of the HBCU Coaches Corner family, man. That will allow us to do more and put out more amazing content. Again, say Rocky ready to go. No, Coach. Hey, look here. Some of us got things to do in the morning, man. And so we don't want to be here all night. Matter of fact, I'll tell you.
Before you go, wait a minute. Have we confirmed our Sunday guest yet? Is that confirmed?
Yes.
Okay, well, hold on. We can't
we
get on. Tell them, Coach, who we got on Sunday, Coach?
Ted White from Howard University. He's a SWAC guy. I mean, he's from the SWAC, kind of. Played up at Howard, coached at Howard before. We're gonna mess with the MEAC now.
Hey, I wanna thank Jay Cedric for sending us some jewels, man. 400 jewels. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Also, here's the deal. What y'all got to do is y'all got to go on Twitter and get Mr. Campbell to do a throwdown tomorrow. And if he does a throwdown, I may jump on here and we may take some calls. I don't know who we can get on the throwdown with him or whatever. But if he gets on here, let me know soon enough.
Well, I know. I'm just unfortunately I've got to go out of time. Well, you know what? We might, because see, Thursday night my haircut night, unless I move to Friday, which I would on a throwdown. But I've got to go down out of town on Friday because I got to handle some personal business. You know, folks, I'm requesting my presence. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Absolutely. Shout out to my man, SWAC fan, for 10 more jewels. We appreciate it, my brother. Thank you. Hey, SWAC fan is our #1 supporter, hands down. Thank you for your support, man.
Yeah. Keep on watching Sipping on Sunday and the Rocky Miller Show. You know.
Absolutely.
You know, we love all the attention.
Hey, Coach, you know what, though? Let me tell you something. Coach, I'm going to tell you this. We're going to have to bring you on Sipping on Sunday. We're going to have to pour you a drink. You know what I'm saying? Get your coach hat and just let you talk. Just let you see. Rocky, remember when we first started the show, Coach talking all that shit, that shit like, let me tell y'all something. I need to be on somebody's staff. Come, we gonna let you just talk about why you should be on somebody's staff.
Well, catch me after 3 drinks, man. Can we cuss? Can we cuss?
Go listen. As long as you don't say the N-word, you good. You can't say the N-word. Okay, anything else is okay.
Hey, Coach, you better not kiss that dog on camera.
Man, look, this is my buddy right here, man. This is my girl right here.
Oh man, Coach.
My wife's girl. Say, hey, what's going on? Yeah.
And what's that critter's name, Coach?
Oh man, this critter's name is Mocha.
Mocha, huh?
Yeah, Mocha Poo. Say hey. Yeah. She loves old Coach, man. I be all in my lap, Coach. I can't even do nothing.
That's all right, Coach.
But it's been great, man. It's been great, guys. Like I said, continue to watch us, tune in, man. Share our channel. What we trying to do, man. We got great things coming, man. I thank everybody, man. I can't say enough. Hey, check out my new studio in the back. I got all my stuff, my jerseys, all my awards and stuff, man. And just continue to thank you guys, man. And we're going to get people to come in your living room, some of these coaches, so you actually can either call in, and start calling in too. We want guys that want to call in, ask these coaches some direct questions. You know, this is the closest that you can get to some professional coaches. Man, these guys are outstanding, man. We got an outstanding group of HBCU coaches that knows this game. I've competed against some of them, played against some of them, and I'm telling you. So call in, share this channel. I love you guys. Like I said, things are rough right now. Gas is $5, eggs are $12. Man, look, I got it. I see it. But like I always say to you, if you feel yourself at the end of the road, tie a knot and hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you.